Here at the Finisterre headquarters in St Agnes, we've just been having some really interesting conversations on AI and the role of humans in the very fast developing AI world. So we thought we'd record the conversation and let you in on it. You work heavily in the AI space. Where do you see the distinction between the role of humans and the role of AI? Because there's a lot of fear around this.
A lot of the fear angle, certainly at the moment, is overstated. We really see AI as a multiplier of human talent. I think a lot of that fear comes because there are certain tasks that AI can do. It could write your email. It can create that image. The distinction is, though, is that these are tasks, not jobs. You've got to separate out the intent and the outcome from the task itself. The best people at using AI image generation are normally photographers because they know what good looks like. It's the human that has the intent to produce good work for a client, write good emails, produce good imagery. It's also a human that has the responsibility. If it goes wrong, at the moment at least, no one's going to shout at your AI. The human also has the years of wisdom. AIs have a lot of knowledge and they can synthesize a lot of data very clearly, but they don't know what data on the web is correct and what is just spin and marketing. And that years of experience and wisdom is so vital for a human. And with all of that, AI then becomes an amazing multiplier. If you're doing a role that involves data, you can bring in data from more different places than you could possibly hold in your head or even on a spreadsheet. It's also a bit like having a PhD in your pocket in everything. Now, it doesn't mean you should do everything, but it means that if you're running a small business or running a department, if you need legal help, you can ask your AI to go, please look over this contract. If you suddenly need to go and produce a simple website, you can ask the AI to do that for you. The number of things that talented people can do expands. For me, it becomes the ultimate multiplier of each individual and talent.
I think the opportunities that AI are bringing are kind of hard to ignore. But I think maybe the question that's being underexplored, and perhaps where a lot of the fear is being born from, is what can AI not do and shouldn't do. Pre-AI world, if you want to operate globally, you have to be digital, and computers didn't just run themselves, so you needed humans to babysit them. So that's where the office culture, the sit and talk, type your ideas up and edit them on the screen came from. But now that computers are needing less and less babysitting, what does the best thinking bubble look like before, or is it before AI gets involved?
Yeah, that's really good. So I think AI is a great multiplier of not only people, but also ideas. Mm-hmm. There's a debate that no new idea is AI-led because all it's doing is kind of resurfacing things that already exist. It's human wisdom and creativity that provide that scaffold that AI multiply. So how do we do that best? Well, I think there's a few things that we really kind of think about. And I think some ideas come best in the individual and some ideas come best in groups. With the individual, you need to have time to think. And I think one of the horrible things that's emerged in work culture is this idea that unless you're on a screen doing something immediately, you're not working. You know, I would just say that as a company owner, I work somewhere between 30 and 100 hours a week because your brain's never off, right? And you can be sitting watching the football last night but still thinking about ideas for your business. Is that working? I'm not sure everyone could tell their boss that that's the case to clock on at that time. But the time to think is more important than ever. Because the people who are going to handle this world best are the ones who can get that thinking done, produce ideas and plans that AI can enhance. Which is why I love your idea about how do you think in nature and how do you escape the noise of the city and more clearly. Ideas also come from collaboration. The whole point of having people together is people bring different levels of wisdom and insight and different psychological traits. And what you want to do is be able to combine those together. No human being can build a 747 jet, but you bring enough of the right talented people together and you can bring these things together. The best complex ideas and the best conceptual plans come together, bringing folk together to think. I don't think the world's cottoned on since the pandemic, since the AI revolution, on exactly how to do that yet.
Yeah. I find that the whole pandemic effect really interesting because I think the pandemic was the first time where we realised that maybe we need to babysit computers less because we can work from the beachside if we want. But I think we're now starting to feel into the downsides of how do we actually optimize that. I mean, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and one thing that I feel very passionate about is that thinking doesn't happen by keeping everything else still and just a cognitive action. Thinking is an entire body action, yes. And I actually think there's a few different elements to this. There's the physically moving, There's the environment that you're in. I mean, the conversation that we're having in this environment, surrounded by greenery, is probably a very different conversation if I was to visit your London offices and we're sitting in a boardroom. You know, the environment really dictates the energy of the conversation and therefore the conversation and what the topics that you touch on.
Yeah.
And I think one other thing is actually the rhythm that dictates it. So if we had a restriction in this conversation where it had to be a back and forth one sentence each, that would create a very different conversation. Or we only can add one word each, so we're collaboratively building a sentence on the other. You know, these sorts of games can actually really dictate the way that we think. And so I think it's a question that needs to be explored more. What does our best thinking look like?
Yeah, I really like that. I mean, things I noticed where we get things wrong is a lot of shared environments suit those that speak the loudest. As a loudspeaker, I have to be fairly careful. But we've seen ourselves that when we try and apply different sort of discipline to it, to allow everyone the chance to have their say, you end up with a much happier group, but also better outcomes and better interest.
Yep.
And I think one thing on where AI can help is how do you record things? Because how many great ideas are lost in fog? I like to do my thinking in the pub sometimes for my sins. But I hate to think how many times I've had a great idea of chatting to friends in the pub, which has gone no further because I've forgotten about it in the morning. And whether you're chatting at a meeting, in the pub, or by the sea, having the ability to record that and having AI be able to synthesize what that means and then help you come back to it, I think is really important.
Yes. That's where the dance between what humans can really do and what AI can really do starts to become a collaborative thing rather than a competitive thing, because I think the fear of jobs being taken is competitive thinking.
I think as companies and individuals, we need to think again about how we use talent.
Yeah.
And we don't have all the answers, but I'm pretty sure that neither being stuck in your bedroom or office at home in front of a screen for 8 hours or having everyone dragged into the office, neither of those are correct.
Yeah. I think starting to think about creating optimal environments where the humans do their best thinking and then creating an AI infrastructure around that.
Yeah.
Thinking of it as this double-layered circle is the new model that is going to work in this world.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in exploring more about applying this to the business world and really excited that we got to have this conversation right now.
Thank you, Alara, and great to do it in the lovely Finnister offices in the sun. So, until next time.